Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to episode. I don't even know what number this is. All I know is I've been meeting some great people, and I had quite a few episodes. But welcome to another episode of the Is That So Show, y'all. Thank y'all for checking me out, for coming on in. And we have a great one today. We have Sam, my man Sam, and he's going to talk to us about how perfect we truly are. Sam he's a great guest to have on this show because he knows what it is, and I wanted to speak to the pain that's out there right now. But he truly knows what it is to experience suffering. And so today, Sam, he's going to talk to us about the experiences he's had, physical and mental, and maybe spiritual, as well as how he navigated through those things. And my understanding is his message is that you don't have anything wrong with you at all, that you are perfect as you are. So Sam's going to come on and explain that, because I'm pretty sure some people would refute and dispute that vigorously. But before I invite him on, y'all know I like to, say a quick word or two. Today, I guess for this episode, my word is diligence and persistence. I cannot, for any of y'all who's actually watched the steps I've been taking, and I'm glad that y'all see me here, and you know how far I've come, even seeing me here, but know that this is just the beginning of it. I'm glad that y'all are here, because again, there never would be a now if there were not a then, right? There has to be a past in order for there to be a now, right? And so people, they make it, some people make it to the mountaintop and then they scream down and say, hey, look at me. But my desire is for people to see me face my challenges, see me stumble and see me get back up, or see me not stumble and gracefully avoid whatever potential stumbling block there is. Because in this life, you'll understand that it's not about so much what you see as much as it is what relationship you decide to have with what it is that you perceive. Perception is reality. It's not about how mighty the forces on the outside are. It's about how great the force on the inside is. And this is what I continue to channel. So I say this not from the mountaintop, but I'm from the trenches too. I'm still climbing up, still climbing up. And despite whatever roadblocks come, no matter how many hits I've been hit with. Look, I even tell y'all, I even been scammed on my way. Just to this point, I've already been scammed, y'all. Picture that. I've already been scammed. So trust me, there's a lot of roadblocks that you can hit on this route. No matter what journey you're on, there's going to be these challenges that you're going to have to overcome. But again, the race, you don't win the race by trying to complete it as fast as possible. The race is not about, how swift you are. It's about how much heart do you have? How badly do you want it? Can you see it? Can you experience it? Can you believe that something is possible outside of what you originally thought was possible for you in your life? This is a space I have to constantly move into, because if I look at my physical surroundings, I would say that I have very limited choices, and I won't be going too far. But this is where the concept of faith comes in, and understanding that I am actively creating the environment around me. And so faith is not belief in what you do see, but acceptance of the unseen. So I accept the fact that though I may see dead ends, that even these dead ends are not as strong as my might. That sometimes where you don't see a door, all you see is a wall, You have to decide that I want this so badly, I will walk through the goddamn wall and make my own door. And so I say that with all heart, all heart. I don't know what tomorrow is going to look like, but I can tell you what choice I made today. And today I choose me. I choose to operate authentically. So that's my intro, y'all. So look, I decided this episode, I'm not gonna prepare any questions. Y'all not gonna see, I wish I would even remove my name from the bottom because I don't even want y'all to. I'm gonna let my guest announce himself, his title, because I want this to be a very free flow and authentic conversation. So normally I get prepared with all, with questions I want to ask and whatnot, but I want us to just connect authentically because I believe that's the reason why he's here to begin with. And so there's no plan needed right here. All we need to do is just be ourselves. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on my man Sam, the Miracle Man. Oh, there we go. Sam, the Miracle Man. Hold on a second, Sam. I got you.
Yeah. Thanks,
What up,
Harry.
Sam?
That's all good, but that's really important to play that music. Everyone should play that for themselves when they wake up, is to
Mm,
celebrate themselves. Hey, I'm
mm,
alive. There's another
mm.
day here, new possibilities. Let's celebrate us.
Come on, Sam. Come on, tell them, Sam. Tell the
Yeah,
people. Come on.
yeah, we really have to celebrate us. And that's the thing. Usually we
Yeah,
wake up and say, oh, it's gonna be a terrible day. I got all these things to do, and the mind just starts going right away. And the way you start your day really creates the day. So if you're starting the day in celebration, it's only going to be all good from there.
yeah. So Sam, of course, Sam, the Miracle Man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna at least put that up there. Sam the Miracle Man. All right. So tell me, sir, Sam the Miracle Man. Tell me, sir, how did you get that last name? The Miracle Man. Can you introduce yourself to the people? Let them know who you are and how you got that name, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I can tell you how I got that name is after I healed myself, I wrote my first book. A reviewer on Amazon called me the Miracle Man. And it just sort of stuck.
Wow. Wait. Do you have? Because I'm gonna put a solo on you. I want you to talk just a little bit about yourself to introduce yourself to the people. I believe that you deserve the full screen when you're doing so. So is it okay if I put solo on you for a moment and let you just let the people know how you came about and what you're passionate about, and then we get into our dialogue.
Yeah, that's fine. I can just share
Awesome.
my story real
Awesome.
quick. All right, so welcome. I'm Sam. I'm actually Sam Shelley. They call me the Miracle Man, but for my whole life, it was mostly pain and suffering. I was hit by a van when I was 6 years old that nearly killed me. Head trauma, broken elbow, hip. I was in the hospital for nearly a year, and that created all sorts of issues throughout my life. So, I was going through high school as an undiagnosed bipolar. So I had lots of issues, but there was no help coming for me per se. There was really no child psychiatry when I was growing up. So it was very difficult. Like I was an undiagnosed bipolar in high school, and that was a real adventure. One time I was acting up and they sent me to the principal's office. He simply asked if I was on drugs. I said no, and he sent me back to the class. That was pretty much my life, that I was dealing with all these mental demons, if you would. And my life was just getting worse and worse, always filled with all this criticism, this hate, this judgment. And that really created a poisonous inner environment. So when I was in my 20s, I was diagnosed as a bipolar because I was very suicidal. So I tried to kill myself twice in my 20s, but I was always filled with this really overwhelmed, stressed out, full of self hate, self criticism, judgment. So that really created the perfect environment for autoimmune diseases. So, besides the bipolar, later I was diagnosed with psoriasis, which is an autoimmune disease, itchy skin disease. And when that disease gets into your joints, it's psoriatic arthritis. So, I also had chronic migraines. And I was always waking up like, what else is going to go wrong? So eventually things did go wrong. At the age of 37, I lost the ability to walk from multiple sclerosis. I had the worst migraine of my life. And then 3 days later, it was in the hospital because I could not walk, nor could I see. I was a complete mess. And that just really took the bipolar to a different realm. But what could I do? I was stuck in a hospital bed for a month. So, I was living with this multiple sclerosis and everything else for 7 years. I was like so overwhelmed, so stressed out. And then one day I simply read about meditation. And one of the benefits of meditation was inner peace. I'm like, I need that. I was never focused on healing. I think it's a really important thing is not focusing on like healing because that creates a lot of blocks, a lot of issues. So I simply focused on peace, becoming at peace with who I am. So then I quickly discovered in my little meditation practice, if you want to call it that, I never had a teacher. I simply sat there, but I sat there with like, stop thinking, because I thought meditation means you stop thinking. Then I realized, wait a second, I have thoughts, but I'm not my thoughts. If I'm not my thoughts, who am I? So I sat with that for a few months. I was only practicing 5 minutes a day, then 5 minutes twice a day, then eventually 10 minutes twice a day. So that was my practice of just sitting there, mind thinking, where are my feet? Mind thinking, where are my feet? Just keep myself here in this present moment. That it was very, very simple. Had a very simple practice. So 3 months of this little simple practice, I finally got my answer. I was just sitting there one evening after my little relaxation process, I guess you'd call it. I wouldn't say it like meditation, because to me, that meditation has all these stories that you're sitting up straight, you're closing your eyes, you're holding your hands a certain way, you're breathing a certain way, and this doesn't you know, this really becomes a roadblock. So I simply had a relaxation process. So after my evening process, I simply heard a voice say perfect spirit. Although it was an inner voice, an outer voice, I don't really know. All I know for certain is when I heard the voice say perfect spirit, I just felt like, it's all over. I simply knew that was me. I am perfect spirit. Everyone listening, watching is perfect spirit in this human body. And I just had a deep, deep knowing after that evening that it was all over, that it was all over. My diseases were like history, but I just followed my own intuition. At that point, I was taking 13 daily medications, an injectable, needed a cane with MS. The heat really bothered me, so I had a cooling vest. And then 16 months later, no medicine, no doctors, no nothing.
Okay. All right. All right. So I let you flow for a little while, and I had to jump on in here. So there was a lot that was said there, Sam.
Yes, there's a lot.
There was a lot that was said there, Sam, the miracle man. So how did this miracle occur again? What is this? You said meditation don't work. You relax yourself. What happened? Tell me, how did the miracle happen? Did Jesus come out? You saw him walk on water. He said, "Come on out." You started walking on water too, and then you were good.
No, what I did was,
Okay.
well, I read about meditation. Meditation brings inner peace. But if you
Mm-hmm.
told the bipolar OCD me there's rules to meditation, I've been so focused on the rules, I would never gotten out of the mind. I'll always be
Mm-hmm.
wondering, like, am I doing this properly? So I
Mm-hmm.
simply, my practice was mind thinking, where are my feet? Mind thinking, come back to my feet. Really learning to
Mm-hmm.
keep myself in the present moment. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I was doing.
Keeping yourself in the present moment. So that sounds all fine and dandy, but how does one keep themselves in the present moment?
Well, it's like a simple fact right now. Are you aware that you're sitting? Are you aware that you're listening? Most people are not
Mm-hmm.
aware that they're even sitting. Like, what does a chair feel like? Where are your feet? That's
Mm-hmm.
all about being in the present moment.
So are you saying, in the way that we were told when we were young, mind your manners, as in be aware of your manners? Are you saying that mindfulness consists of being consciously aware of where you are at any specific time and space? That's what it sounds like you're saying to me.
Yeah, that's mindfulness practice of doing your best to stay here in this moment. Because the mind's always a time traveler, trying to drag the past into the present or trying to future guess.
So how does the mind drag the past into the present? Help me out here.
Well, it's simple things like when I was hit by the van at age 6 years old. That's like PTSD, where the mind keeps dragging that incident into the memory and it really feels like it's alive in this moment.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. So you were hit again. See, you said so many different things that occurred to you, man. I just, I at one point I was about to ask you if you was Forrest Gump. I don't even know anymore. But so you were hit. How big of an injury was this?
Well, I was in the hospital for nearly a year with head trauma, broken elbow,
Wow,
broken hip. I was really messed up.
wow, wow. For a year.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay. And so that recovery consisted of, I mean, normal, rehabilitative care in the hospital, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. About 6 months in rehab. Yeah.
Okay.
After that,
And so, but this, you didn't have the miracle at this age. At what age did you have the miracle?
it was when I was what was I, like 42 years old, something like that. I was being sick for like 37 years after being hit by that van. So I was sick for like 36, 37 years.
Tell me, so sick for almost 4 decades. All right. 3 years short of 4 decades, you were sick. Tell us what you were sick with.
Well, from the head trauma created, bipolar. It created some kind of damage. So it was an undiagnosed bipolar going up through high school, which created all sorts of issues. And I was really
Mm-hmm.
filled with a lot of self-hate, a lot of criticism, a lot of self-judgment, like a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
do, but I took it into a different realm, and I was very suicidal in my 20s, got very depressed, suicidal. So I was all over the place from up, really manic and feeling godlike to like really in the gutter, depressed. I was like all over the place. And it took
Yeah.
like 5 years to get my medicine correct at that point.
What
And
do you
like,
mean 5 years to get your medicine correct? What is that? You were like sampling different doses, so
no,
dosages, different.
I actually had a really like a renowned doctor in Philadelphia to the point where I wasn't like manic and depressed, like switching all over the place constantly, where my moods were fairly stable. It took about 5 years to get my moods stabilized, I guess you could say. I guess the best way to describe it.
Wait, so this was with one provider, or you bounced around until you found a provider that assisted you with that?
Well, no, it was like first initial. I bounced around a few providers because we were diagnosing with depression only, and they were giving me this medicine that made me manic. So it was like then I was going to the support group, and they're like, "You have to see this doctor in Philadelphia." And I
Mm,
saw him, and like my first appointment with him was like 2 hours. No
come
doctor
on.
spent no doctor spent that kind of time with me. He spent like 2 hours trying to figure me out.
Come on. Wait. I have to go ahead and give an applause right there, and I got to pay some homage. I got to pay some respect, because my doctor, the first doctor that really showed me that there was a doctor out there, not just any doctor, but he was also a white male doctor, and that's relevant in this day and age. But he was the first doctor that actually showed me that he actually cared. He took me back before even the cashiers were out there, and he was with me for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours. So again, I just had to bring that up right quick and throw that out there. Hey, Dr. Brent, I'm hoping that you surfing. I'm hoping that you having mad fun right now out there in your retirement. Thank you. You've been a blessing to my life. Thank you so much, sir. But please continue. Tell me about this doctor that you met. So you spent 2 hours. You never had this experience before, and then what happened? What proceeded beyond that?
Well, after that, he did some testing. He wanted to make sure there was nothing physical going on. So he did like I think he did like an MRI, which was like really unusual at that time and age. Like his hospital actually had an MRI machine, so he wanted to do that. He did some blood work and did some other testing, and just wanted to make sure he just wanted to rule out other possibilities before he came back with a bipolar diagnosis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so then proceed. So how did the healing occur? Let's talk about that healing. How did the healing actually happen?
Well, with the bipolar, first he was just trying to get me on trying to get me stabilized. So, during my time with him, I got suicidal, twice. And so I was at the hospital ER a few times. So and that's where we were saying it took 5 years for him to really get to the place where I wasn't so manic and so depressed to somewhat stabilize. But it took him, 5 years to figure out the right medicine combination for me. And this is
Yeah,
where he was actually the top bipolar doctor in Philadelphia at the time.
come on. Okay, so the top dog. All right, and then how the story. I'm curious now. The suspense is terrible. Please tell us more.
Yeah, so that was my experience with that, but still, that I was still dealing with a lot of self-criticism, self-hate, and all this stuff. But that's where I was getting like the autoimmune diseases, psoriasis, or like arthritis, really chronic migraines. Was He sent me to see a migraine specialist at the hospital, so I had a
Mm.
top migraine doctor. So I was getting like one or two a week. I was thinking 3 or 4 migraines a week that were debilitating. It was really,
Oh,
really bad.
oh,
So I had a really good doctor for that as well. But during this, it was always like more medicine related than actually dealing with this. So when I was seeing him for a long time and I was dealing with all this criticism, judgment, all this stuff, he never said to me, like, do you realize that your thoughts aren't the truth? you
mm,
know, Going on to that kind of avenue. And he
mm,
never like suggested like meditation or yoga or some kind of alternative therapy. It was always like, here's the medicine, here's the medicine. So that
mm,
was my thing. And yeah, so
mm.
that was my journey. It was like really medicine based as opposed to dealing with the mental, the thought process part of it.
Yeah, so then that leads me to my next question then, because again, I know you're still talking about the miracle that occurred, but I believe that this question I have for you is germane to that journey. So, what is Head Trash Anonymous, sir?
Head trash is our noise, is our mental garbage. So I really help people get out of the mental garbage because I was my reality from I was diagnosed bipolar, I think 91, 92. And
Mm-hmm.
like I've seen the psychiatrist for like 18, 20 years, something like that. And he never
Mm-hmm.
once addressed the head trash. It was always like
Mm-hmm.
medicine. And so I was dealing with that, and but I was completely overwhelmed, stressed out. Even though I was just still taking all this medicine, still had really high levels of stress. Just
Yeah.
wasn't, in the place where I wanted to kill myself. It was just different, and that's why I want people to see that we have all this mental noise, all
Yeah.
this junk, and it's just garbage, and we need to throw it out. And the way we throw it out is by being here in this moment. If we're not here in this moment, we're thinking about the day, we're dwelling on these thoughts. We just need to do our best to keep ourselves here, which will take away that power from them.
Sam, are you saying the past is history, the future is a mystery, and today is a gift, which is why it's called the present? It's all about what you want to do with your gift today. Is that what you're saying to us?
Yes, absolutely.
That's what
Absolutely.
I thought I heard. That's what I thought I heard. So tell us more about this gift being the present. So is this the miracle that you're referring to?
Well, the miracle was when I heard the voice say perfect spirit, like my mind got suddenly quiet and no longer had power over me. Then it was just like
Mm,
this intuitive voice came online, you could say. And I was just following my own wisdom, my own marching to my own drummer that I need to do this, I need to do that. And I was just following my own path. I never had a spiritual teacher. Since I since I had that perfect spirit, it was like that was it. And the mind got quiet. Then I say this is our spirit is like the lighthouse leading us to safety. So it would always be like one day I just had the insight that to do yoga. So I just signed up for yoga. And when I joined yoga, my balance was horrible. I would be very tipsy in the beginning. But
mm-hmm.
after 6 months, I didn't need my cane anymore. You know, it was
From
like,
yoga.
yeah, from yoga.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Okay, so you didn't need your cane. So the diagnosis, you were diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Anything else you were diagnosed with?
Diagnosed with bipolar, chronic migraines, psoriasis. It was when about a third of my body psoriasis. I had psoriasis into my joints, which was psoriatic arthritis. And then
Mm-hmm.
age 37 was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Wow. And so now, Miracle Man, are you saying that now you don't have any of those diagnoses?
No, I don't. My doctors
Sir,
can't explain me.
doctors can so you've had the test done. Like this isn't you just saying, okay, yeah, no, I don't have any more of these. You've had the test done. Like, how do you know you don't have any more of these? How did that occur?
Well, initially, I was a little skeptical. Now I've been off medicine and everything for 10 years. Now this is my 10th year with no medicine, no nothing.
Hold on now. Sam, the Miracle Man. We're gonna celebrate that. We're gonna celebrate that.
Yeah,
10
we got
years, sir?
10 years, no medicine, no nothing. Yeah.
Come on, man. Come
So
on.
it's been 10 years. Yeah, this is my 10th anniversary. So, but the thing is that I,
Congratulations, brother.
but so I was really cutting back my doctors. I decided to keep my last neurologist appointment. And
Mm-hmm.
so I saw him, had the latest testing done. And my last appointment, he questioned me for 45 minutes trying to quantify what I did. He's like, your
Mm.
scans are clean, your blood work is better than mine. I'm doing a physical examination of you. Only thing I see is that everyone has is a non-specific hand tremor. Then he proceeded to question me for 45 minutes trying to understand what I did.
Okay. And then the conclusion was?
Only thing he concluded was MS, remission. And he just called it MS remission, or I forget what but something like that. But I was actually from my MS, people that know multiple sclerosis, I was going from relapsing remitting to secondary progressive,
Mm-hmm.
which means you get flare ups once in a while, to like secondary progressive when you're in a little slow decline. And it stopped.
And so the exercises that you did, I mean, how do you explain this revolution that this
The big
evolution that you've transformation rather that you've had?
the biggest transformation that I had was no longer believing my mind as my truth. Before, because it was all this mental garbage that life isn't worth living, that you aren't deserving of this, all that criticism, that judgment, it no longer had power over me. I stopped believing that. And this brings me to a point, like my doctors couldn't explain me. But I don't know if you know Dr. Gabor Mate.
Mm-hmm.
I
I don't
saw
know him,
him.
but he sounds like fancy. Go ahead.
But yeah, he goes around, and he's really a famous doctor that goes around talking about people don't identify the mind body connection. He's a former family doctor that talks about a study that most doctors ignore. They found like asthmatic kids are directly correlated to the stress of the parents. They never address the parents' issues, they just address the kids. So they did a
Wow. Come
study of
on.
10,000 kids that are asthmatic, and he talks about this study that everyone ignores, that the stress of the parents directly correlates to the asthma in the kids. But anyhow, I saw him
Whoa,
at a
whoa, whoa. No, ain't no
yeah.
anyhow. Let's just stop for a second. Let me add something to that, brethren. So I am again, on my show, I want to play, I want to play the role of not knowing, and then really I don't
Mhm.
know much, but I'm also a heart-centered hypnotherapist, among other things. And so I was just reading my treatment manual just last night, and it said that asthma oftentimes represent, again, these psychosomatic symptoms. The body keeps a score of our stressors and our traumas. Asthma being correlated with living in a toxic environment.
Mhm.
That's right there. Right there in
Yeah.
my hypnotherapy manual.
Yep.
Asthma. When you do the work, when you go down, when you do the shadow work and go down deep, you see a correlation between this psychosomatic symptom of asthma and them growing up in a toxic environment. So when you bring the fact that you just brought, all I did was, further cement what was the research that I'm already looking at about it.
Right. So yeah.
So
So
please go on.
yes. So Dr. Mate, that's initially how he got out there talking about this stuff. But I was talking to him at a conference. I told him what happened to me, and he was
Mm-hmm.
asking me some questions. Then he just stopped and he just looked at me and said, "Oh, you stopped believing your mind." So he was the only doctor that got it, that I stopped believing my mind, and he said it after he asked me a few questions to see, that I had the multiple sclerosis, the bipolar. So he was just asking me a few questions about that. Then he just paused and he says, "Oh, you stopped believing your mind."
Come on. Okay. Okay. And so go on. What do you mean you stop believing your mind? I mean, our mind is, for a lot of people, all we have is our mind. That's all they know.
Right.
So what do you
And that,
mean by stop believing your mind?
well, like I said, I don't give the head trash any power over me anymore. The noise that's creating the stress, the overwhelm, the anxiety, the worry, all that stuff
Mhm.
is just mental noise. But we're so focused on it, we only know ourselves as our thoughts. Like I only knew myself that I'm bipolar. I have this, I have this. I was completely identified with my labels, my ailments, and I was giving them power. And when I just stopped that, when I heard the voice say perfect spirit, it was just like, it's not our truth. And everyone here
Mm.
that's listening is perfect spirit. That is the real us. So we need to celebrate the real us, that we are all perfect spirit doing our best, despite what this mind's telling us.
Okay. So are you saying that this perfect again, I want to stay on this spirit telling you your perfect spirit, okay? I want to stay on this right here. So in that was not your truth. That stop listening to the head noise that identified with these ailments, that this is not your truth. So basically it sounds like what you're saying is that this ghost told you that you were not living in your truth.
Right. I wasn't right. Exactly. I wasn't
Okay.
living my truth.
Okay. And so in that case, you were living a lie. And so if you were living in a lie, but you believed it to be true, then that means that it was false evidence appearing real,
Hmm.
which then represents fear.
Right. Yeah. It's
And
it's
so you see what I'm
it's
saying? That's literally the acronym that I throw out there for fear, and it's been used all over the place. So I don't have no monopoly on that. But false evidence appearing real is fear. Danger is
Mhm.
reality, but fear is a choice. And so this spirit allowed you, freed you that truth. It said this is not your truth, and so because you identified that this was not your truth, you were able to move towards and start moving your awareness in that truth.
Mhm. Yeah, it's really that simple. The mind wants to make it really complex, really difficult, but it's
Yeah.
really not. It's just about tuning into who we truly are. And for me, that was hearing the words perfect spirit. It could be soul, consciousness, whatever resonates with you. When you see that you are that greater essence within you and not this mental story, this illusion, this fantasy world the mind creates that this is the worst thing ever. Just the simple fact that, hey, we're alive, we're here to have the human experience, that we do create this reality. So and that's what I tell people, people that want to heal, I say don't focus on healing, because focus on healing implies there is something wrong with you, and it usually magnifies it, usually makes it worse. So most people focused on healing don't heal, and I was never focused on healing. I was focused
Mm,
on inner peace. That's really what we have to focus on, is like being at peace. When I read that meditation brings peace, I need that. That's something I
mm,
could accomplish. But if you told
yeah.
me, oh, you can heal bipolar, you can heal MS, you can get rid of all this stuff, my mind would said, there's wait a second, there's no way you could do all this. The mind would have blocked it. And I see a lot of this too when I talk to people that I had MS, and I see people with MS and like, you can probably do something about your MS. You can probably ease it up, and they're like, now I'm stuck with this, and they sort of walk away, because
Mm,
that's the reality. Because the mind has so many stories. You've seen a doctor for 10, 20, 30 years, and your physical condition really hasn't changed, and now somebody's saying, hey, you can make this go away, you can flip the script, you can
yeah.
rewrite your story. Absolutely, we have to remember that we are light itself, that this is our lighthouse. There's
Mm,
no dark night of the soul. Our light
mm,
does not dim. It's basically a dark night of the mind filled with
mm,
head trash, creates all this darkness, and it's creating a lampshade over your own light that you can't see. But we need to
mm.
pull off that lampshade and see our light's always shining bright, no matter what's going on in the world. Your light is just shining.
Come on,
So
Sam. Come on, Sam. Come on. Look,
that's
look.
what I hear that a lot. Yeah.
I gotta bring it out. I gotta bring it in. Go ahead. What you say?
When I hear people saying I'm going through a dark night of the soul, I'm like, it's just one of the things that bothers me. Like, no, your soul never goes dark. You are the light. That's why the
Is
Indian
that
sages
so?
for thousands of years have sustained Namaste. The light within me recognizes the light within you,
Come
because
on.
we are the light itself.
The
It can
God
never
in me recognizes the God in you.
Right.
Come
Exactly. And
on.
this light can never be extinguished. Regardless of the body's here or not, this light continues onward, this energy that is us.
Yes. And a light on a hill can't be hid, right?
Right.
Like literally our skeletons are made up of stardust. And so we were born to shine. The only thing that makes us dim is the belief that we cannot shine, that we are born to shine. That's what it is, because
Hmm.
perception is reality, and
Right.
even our darkest moments, still we are able to have some light shining because then we meet people who actually have hope in us, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
What are they tuning into? You know, if
Right.
not the light within them, see the God within them, sees the God within us, even in our darkest space. You know, we were literally born to shine.
Hmm.
But come on, Sam, tell us more.
Yes, we're just consumed by head trash, and we can just throw that head trash out today. We say, "I'm not believing this story anymore. It's not me. It doesn't serve me. It needs to be just thrown away the best we can by being here in this moment." It's really simple. People think it's spirituality is really this complex routines and rituals. It's really not. It's really about how it's really a practice of staying present, of staying mindful, of being aware that you're sitting, that you're eating, just being aware of this fact and not consuming our thoughts constantly as our truth. And it's just an illusion that we're this story, our labels, whatever you want to call it. You're not that. You're here. I think everybody should just celebrate, play that little clip there and just celebrate us when we wake up first thing in the morning. It's like, yes, thank you, another day in this human body. It's all good from here.
Mhm.
Whatever else happens, I woke up. It's just a bonus. Whatever happens after I wake up.
Come on, Sam. Gratitude is the highest state of receivership. You know, to wake up in that state of appreciation. You know, in my darkest nights. You know, when the nocturnal therapist has his darkest nights, in my darkest nights, that's what I do. I practice gratitude. You know,
Hmm.
appreciation. You know, because again, whatever we stare at becomes our reality. And if I stare at my wants or what really represents, which is a lack, and of course we're going to be unhappy over having not having something that we determine to need. You know, if we don't have that, so if I continue to stare at my lack, then yes, I will feel, pretty low frequency, But when I know also there are amazing things that are occurring and that I also am constantly creating my environment, when I tune into my power, as a mini creator, when I tune into that power, now I'm feeling empowered and now I'm thinking about what's possible. Now I'm seeing life not more or less as the deck has been drawn and has been dealt out, but instead now I'm beginning to see life as an empty canvas.
Hmm.
It's about what I want to paint, you know.
Right.
It's about what
Exactly.
colors I want to use.
You get to see that everything is possible. The only thing
Yeah.
stopping it from becoming possible is once again the mind with its false limitations. And if you can't
Mm,
do something today, maybe you're not skilled or practiced in that area. Everyone was
mm.
born a baby and they developed their skills over the years. We're all born the same way. We just practicing, building skills. So if you can't do something today to your satisfaction, is do more practice, build your skills.
Is that so? Sam the Miracle Man. Look, it sounds like, again, brother, I believe, and I think you said it with clarity, and I just want to back you up and say that typically how I say that is that whatever you do is a practice, whatever you practice, you become. And so, yeah, it's skill. A life of authenticity is a life of skillfully choosing and developing a practice of living through your values. It's all about values, how closely aligned you are with your values. That alignment it determines your level of authenticity in that space. And the more authentic you are in that space, the more you're living in your truth, and therefore you're allowing your light to shine. Ergo, you are being lit. And that's why my motto is to stay lit, stay living in truth, stay living in my truth, because that's the only way to truly live and experience life through our truth, right, Sam?
Right. Yeah, we each are individual truth. What worked for me won't work exactly for someone else because we each live in different bodies. We each have different experiences. We each have our own different truth, if you will, our own different way of being. And that's
Mhm.
really what we're here to find is our blueprint, our way forward, and not trying to mimic, copy someone else. Say, okay, that worked for him. What's going to work for me? And
Mm.
but there's too much copying. Just realizing this is your path. It's unique to you. Find your way by going within.
Sounds like what you're saying, again, with the going in, the shadow work, bringing light to the darkness, but sounds like what you're saying, in the great words of Dr. Seuss, he said, "You are you. That's truer than true. No one in the world can be youer than you." Is that what you're saying, Sam the Miracle Man?
Absolutely, that we have to, find our truth, follow our light, and then it will
Yeah.
lead you. This path, the light will lead you while the mind's trying to throw you into ditches and everything else. This light is always there, but the only thing is the mind goes impatient because the light only shows you the next step. It doesn't show you the
Mm-hmm.
whole plan. It just says, here's the next
Mm-hmm.
step. The mind wants to know
Mm-hmm.
all these plans, all these details, and it's like Spirit's saying, just take this step, take this
If
step.
If you knew it, it wouldn't be exciting.
Right.
Who watches games after they've been played? You know, no one watches a game after they know who won and lost. You know, that's where the excitement is at. You and actually experiencing it. And like you said, you know, we are born, or, you know, my version of what you said, we're born tabula rasa, which means empty slate, you know. And so we've come here on purpose, for a purpose, with a purpose. And as we move, our purpose, part of the larger part of that purpose is to discover the who am I. In that who am I, you discover what your truth is. And then your task, your goal, your obligation, your calling is to begin to move in that truth. The more truth, the more access to your truth you get, the more you operate in that truth. And then you begin to see these things begin to manifest rapidly into your life, you know, and still hold steadfast, because it's not always sunny. You know, again, that's why I don't even shoot for happiness. Everybody's shooting for happiness, but they underestimate peace. You know, like peace is so sweet. Peace could be with you no matter what's going on in your life. Happiness, it takes a few things to be in place for you to experience happiness. You know,
Right.
excitement, same thing. But peace, you can experience a peace that your logical mind just can't comprehend.
Right.
You know, and it's
That's
in that space, I believe, that you're talking about that healing occurs.
right. That's what I'm saying. Peace is the energy of transformation.
Mm, come on, Sam.
This is what I
Say it
discovered.
again, Sam. Say it again.
Peace is the energy of transformation. Everyone that I've worked with through peace, they transform.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done, man. I'm done. Look, Sam, real quick, before we get off, I just wanted, is there anything you want to talk to the people about? Do you want to just, you know, let the people know where they can find you at real quick? I'm gonna pull myself out of the screen and let you just have it for, let you say what you need to say. Okay.
All right.
All
All
right.
right. So yeah, basically you can find me at Head Trash Anonymous. That's my website. You can find me on Head Trash Anonymous on Facebook, and I have a private group on Facebook, Head Trash Anonymous Global Chapter. Within there, you get a copy of my first book for free as a PDF, so you can just read it. Every 2 weeks, I do healing circles, or just circles, because healing implies lots of things to do. It's actually an inner peace circle. So I do them every 2 weeks, and you can find that my Head Trash Anonymous. And I do a lot of videos on YouTube as Sam the Miracle Man. And even if you're on TikTok, I'm there as well doing daily videos as Sam the Miracle Man. Like, I'm always around just to remind people that you are peace itself, that you are greater than the mind's limitations. You're not your head trash. You're not your stories. Let's throw that stuff out and just be you. That's all it requires, is just be you, the real you, not this illusion, not this story of yourself, but just be you. And you can find me around, and I'm here to help you find ways for you to stay present to this moment. And it's very simple to stay present.
Did you want to finish telling them about the simplicity of it?
Yeah, my practice was simply 5 minutes a day is how I began. I simply began my transformation with 5 minutes a day. Mind thinking, where are my feet? Mind thinking, where are my feet? Mind thinking, where are my feet? And with the realize, every time you bring yourself back into this moment, you put a gap into the thought stream. The more gaps in the thought stream, the more inner peace.
I'm done. Hey, stick a fork in it, y'all. It's over with. Kaput. Sam the Miracle Man, he done laid it down. So, Sam, I just want to thank you again for coming and blessing the stage. Thank you for being a part of the stage, brother. Thank you for sharing, being authentic in this space and sharing your story. And thank you for being lit up for life. Thank you for telling us the key to true transformation is to experience that peace that only comes from living in your truth, brother. And so I don't need to tell you to stay lit, because I know that you're going to continue to do so, man. But I will definitely stay in touch, and maybe we may do something else in the future. I'm sure we're gonna cross paths.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Great talking to you, Harry.
All right, all right. If you don't mind, stick backstage for just a second, sir.
All right, great.
All right, y'all heard it from Sam, the Miracle Man himself, talking about peace again, harmony. You know, finding balance in life, finding a harmony within oneself, understanding that you are not your story, that you are not your thoughts, that you are not your mind, but you are this beautiful awareness unfolding into consciousness, constantly developing, creating, and evolving. And so I just want to thank y'all for listening to this episode of Is That So? I know that y'all enjoyed it because I definitely enjoyed having Sam the Miracle Man on. And continue to follow us at becomeanoutlier.com. Look up that the podcast is there. I have a wellness blog there. We have freebie on clarity on the website, and be looking for me on Clubhouse. I also do shadow work, which I'm about to release a shadow work mini course. A lot of people are asking about how to do shadow work, and I'm going to present my version of how to do that introspective work so you can go inside and begin to discover how to develop that peace from within. I know it sounds cryptic to a lot of people. It sounds like very vague, but it's not. It's not when you actually begin to do it. You just have to experience the experience in order to experience it. Anyway, look, I'm out of here. Thank you again. Stay lit, y'all.